Hello, everybody. Welcome to the strategy call for 720 System Strategies, February 2021. And here, actually, guys, I'm going to go back. Let me start this over, seeing I'm recording it. Okay, technical difficulties. Thank you for bearing with me. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the strategy call for February 2021. This is Philip with 720 System Strategies, and here's the agenda for the day. We're gonna review certain updates from 720 System Strategies, and I'm gonna talk about a concept that I've been mulling over in the back of my mind about playing the long game. And I just really invite you guys and ladies to consider this from your bankruptcy practice. And then I'm gonna roll the long game into the various lead sources, and then we'll just open up for question and answers and brainstorming. And so the first thing is the strategy calls. First of all, I love your feedback, right? Because I'm struggling. Do we have these via Zoom? Do we have these via calls? We get more participation in the calls than we do here on Zoom, but just the more feedback you give me, the better. You can pre-mark your calendar. Second Tuesday of each month, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 a.m. or 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. Eastern, okay? And I'm going to create a routine around these strategy calls. So the first one's going to be on training, which is like this. Next one is going to be calls with special guests, other bankruptcy attorneys that are uniquely doing things in their marketplace or in their practice. And then we're going to have brainstorming calls like we've done those in the past. So we've done all these, but I'm just going to bring a routine to it. So next month is going to be a guest. If for whatever reason I can't bring the guest on at a certain time, it'll be recorded and launched at that time, okay? So I want to give you a thought process on playing the long game. And the reason why I thought about this is I was recently talking to a very successful bankruptcy attorney. I mean, he's filed thousands and thousands of cases, over many, many years. And he said to me, he's like, wow, you really think differently than other bankruptcy attorneys or other marketers, right? You play the long game. And when it hit me, I was like, you know what? We do play the long game. And I want to show you a screen of something I'm actually doing. And this is specifically, so we generated last month, 1,001 leads this way, right? And I'm about to walk you through it. And, but like, this is how I think of things, right? And this is how my mind goes. I mean, I don't need the lead now. I don't need the lead closed now. I mean, do I want to be in the money within the first week or two? Yeah, I do want to be in the money the first week or two. But I believe in playing the long game. It doesn't have to be that way. So one of the things I've done, and if you go to, oh, you know what? Let me just show you one quick second. I want to show you, if you go to our 720 credit score Facebook page, you can see, if you scroll down, we had a giveaway, $2,500 Amazon gift card giveaway, okay? And we advertised to people that look like debtors. You know, we've had 105,000 people through our program. So we know from a data perspective what that looks like. Over 90,000 debtors. So we advertised specifically those people on social media, this giveaway, this 720 credit score cash contest giveaway, right? Enter for your chance to win. Now, some of these people turn into leads immediately, and I can book them into an appointment or put them into lead follow-up. But a lot of these people don't. They just want the giveaway. They just want a chance to win money. So what I do is, if they sign up to enroll into this $2,500 Amazon cash giveaway, they get one entry. And then once they're in, I say, hey, you can get 200 bonus entries if you answer these 3 questions. Do you live in the United States? Where you like higher credit score, and have you filed bankruptcy in the past 5 years? Right? Now, some of them are going to say yes to credit improvement. Some of them are going to say no to credit improvement. And if they say no to credit improvement, fine, no big deal. They go into an email drip sequence, which is a 50-day drip sequence, all about the bonus, excited about the giveaway. We're running close. Here's extra prizes. Here's bonus entries, different things like that, right? Now, throughout every one of these touches, I just have a PS. By the way, if you do want to raise your credit score and get rid of debt, click this link and it takes them back to this, would you like credit help? But if they do say yes to credit help, it drops them into a drip. And the drip is everything you would tell your clients about their debt. Don't be ashamed. Here's success stories. Here's credit mistakes. Credit mistakes would be, don't try to raise your credit score without solving your debt problem first, right? It's a nurturing sequence, caring, soft touch. As Zig Ziglar would say, the Neiman Mark is closed. Like you feel the pressure, but it just feels oh so good, right? And it puts them through a 39-day drip sequence. And then after 39 days, they get a touch from me every 10 days following these 3 steps. Success story, real people, real life through bankruptcy. I'm going to go back to my credit score page, and you can just go and see real life Heather Long. Real people, real success through bankruptcy. Bought a home, right? Amanda, I believe her name's Amanda. Anyways, it doesn't matter, but you get my point. Real life, real success stories through bankruptcy. Credit improvement question answers we get all the time, right? And then we ask for the free bankruptcy consultation. The free bankruptcy consultation goes into a opt-in box for free bankruptcy consultation, which drives them into a lead follow-up sequence, which our attorneys have, of course, and setting an appointment. Now, I'm not going to get into the mechanics of the numbers or anything like that, because I want to just think of that. That's for another video, another time. But I'm putting the meat on this for all of you. But in a nutshell, we ran this contest from November 20th through January 31st, and we had 52,000 people enter this contest. 52,000 people. Of the 52,000 people entered this contest, we had 20,501 people said they want a higher credit score. So 20,000 people are getting dripped on and nurtured by this, okay? We had, just in the last week, we're talking like, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 20. I wish I had the exact number. I should have gotten that, I'm sorry, for a bankruptcy consultation, right? And it's just little by little by little, playing the long game. These 20,000 people, once they're dripped on me for a year, will feel so vested with me, and they'll know me, right? Because it's real, right? It's real and truthful, and I'm not trying to sell them or anything like that. That's my concept of playing the long game. I throw it out to people on the call. Let's brainstorm this for a second. Thoughts, like what's your take? Anything come to mind? Questions, anything like that?
Bill, my action, Bill.
Yeah, tell me.
We need to find out how many of these people have large student loans.
Yeah, okay, that's another question we can incorporate into the drip. And by the way, it's great feedback. I mean, if there's another conversation or funnel that we can build it, right? I wouldn't know how. I mean, Dorothy, if that's something, if that's a funnel or an appointment that we would want, let me know, and we can build that out. Frankly, for anyone on the call, any ideas you have that can better this, fantastic. I'm just thinking right now, as you saw it, but it's okay, Dorothy, thank you. Send that over to me and let me know what those, like, what's the value of that lead? Like, what does that look like, right? Like, how can you, as an attorney, monetize that, right? Because I know it's hard with student loans, especially right now with what they're talking about doing. So thank you for that. Other thoughts, anyone?
So, yeah, you and I just talked, yeah, is it Tuesday today? Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
We just talked yesterday, but we were talking about this, and I think it's relevant to this point that, we were talking about the drip campaigns, and we were talking about how down the market is overall. And how, really I didn't experience that as bad this year as most. And I attributed that mostly to the drip campaigns. And so I just want to I guess, emphasize how important I think what this it is and what you're doing, and how the long game really, can help with the highs and lows, right? I mean, when we're experiencing times like this, we've got people that are still looking, and still coming to you and helping kind of, level that out. So I think that's real important. So yeah, I just kind of a plug for you if anybody's on this call and they're not doing the drip campaigns. I think that's something you guys should consider. It definitely is. I see the rewards from that every day. And then my second question, Phil, to you would be, and maybe you'll get to this later, is this contest thing something, one, that we as attorneys can do, ethically speaking, and two, meaning at our level rather than just at the 720 level, and then is that something you can do for us?
Well, the beauty about it is so for you, for example, you're already incorporated into it because we're already setting appointments for you and things like that, right? I just haven't got one of these leads from South Dakota, right? Just randomly.
So my question would be is, if I said, look, let's do a mini version of this, like, I don't want to give away $2,500, but let's say I said, let's do $500, right? And let's do a South Dakota specific campaign built on your exact same model that you have there. Is that something we can do?
Well, it's not something I was thinking about. What I was thinking about at a high level, which like I'll roll out later, is having it where we're advertising in specific areas. So right now I was advertising nationwide, right? But because I know you want this, I'm dropping ads in South Dakota, right? For you, as opposed to nationwide. Like I generated a lead in West Virginia. I have an attorney in West Virginia, right? Like I was talking to one of my attorneys yesterday, and I was like, can you do leads in South Illinois, right? I mean, just like that's the clunkiness, but that's the beauty of all of us, right? We've all built practices based on learning, right? This was a learn, and I've learned a lot in this first 60 days. But I do think if we can get to the client before they're ready to go on Google, whether you're going to pay $25 a click, that's when we win. And I think I can do it this way, to be determined. But thank you for that, Eric. Any other questions before, or thoughts, ideas before we move on and continue down the road?
Hey, Phil.
Yeah. Hey, Eric.
Hi, Phil. What's in it for us?
Well, what's in it for you is bankruptcy consultation.
And how are you going to do that?
Well, you're at home base and I'm like at first. Like I just closed the contest 2 weeks ago. I'm figuring out my profitability on it. So when the time comes, you'll get it. I'm not there yet, right? I'm not there yet. Like
okay.
the leads I've been generating so far, it's, I'm just trying to test the value, right? But the value for you, I think, as just, someone who's probably a little biased, right, is that you're in the conversation, right? You can pick up the phone and say, hey, I want some of that, like, keep me posted, right? I mean, I think that's the value at this point. I'm not ready to roll this out in a big way, but I do think it's helpful, especially what we're about to go through, is the concept of thinking long game, because most bankruptcy attorneys don't. I hate to say it. I mean, I know it. They look at, they're like, it's like when I was in the mortgage business, and I wrote this program, 7 Steps to 720 Credit Score. My whole concept was appealing to people who are the unlendable. And my attorney and other mortgage brokers would say to me, oh, I don't want that client. Oh my God, they have horrible credit. And I'm like, no, I'll take it. I'll take it because they're going to be alone in 6 months. So that's the concept. But I'll get back to you.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions before we keep going? Okay, let me keep going. Let me share my screen. Let me go back to, okay, playing the long game, okay? Okay, various lead sources. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about different things, right? And first of all, I want to talk about local paid. This came up on the last call, and I did some research on this. These Google local service ads, right? You've probably seen them. If I type in bankruptcy attorney, Phoenix, Arizona, see these Google screened at the top, right? Google screened. You open up for more bankruptcy attorneys, Google screen, Google screen, Google screen, Google screened. Ken Neely's a bankruptcy attorney, Mike, right? He was actually the first bankruptcy attorney. First bankruptcy attorney, way back in 2012, called me and like, hey, I like what you're doing. What if we came up with this idea, okay? So I called Ken. I'm like, Ken, why aren't you screened? Because I know he was in Google. I mean, he thinks like a marketer. Why aren't you showing up screened, right? And he said, well, I'm not approved yet, but I'm buying leads from them. Okay, so that's the first thing. I have other examples of attorneys that aren't showing screen, but they are actually approved. And, but it's when they're turned off. So I'm not sure, you know, how exactly Google works on this, but this is Google local service ads. So this is paid. These ads up here, paid with Google AdWords. These right here are free local service postings, right? So let's walk through this. What I know from, I signed up an attorney for Google Local Services because I just wanted to experience it. In their market, it's at $150 per call. You get paid based on the call, or you get paid on the call that you answer. And I've heard some attorneys say up to $180 per call. I think it must be market based. The attorney that I signed up, they said it's $150 a call with a 3-call minimum. What I found a couple things interesting, and we heard actually the first one here, the $90 per call on the last strategy call. One of our attorneys from Pennsylvania, he said he got his Google local service ads down to $90 a call. How he did it was ramping up an unlimited budget. So I forget what he said on last call. I tried to have him on this call, but he's flying to London as we speak. But we will do a recording, and I'll unpack this $90 a call for him. But what he did was just ramp up the budget. And he says, there's times where there's only, you know, I'm populating, so they're sending it to me. They can't, there's not the search volume enough for it. But most people are not going to spend, I forget what he was saying, but I think he was saying 10,000 or a month. You know, that's not the normal attorney. So that's the one thing. Ken Neely gave me a good point for all of you who are using this. He's disputed certain calls, right, with Google Local Service. And when Google Local Service disputes a call, what they do is they listen to the recording. So what happens, he has all these leads going straight into his office. Bonnie, the front desk, is answering the call, setting an appointment for him or one of his attorneys. Then they realize afterwards that he lives in Idaho, or he doesn't need bankruptcy, whatever. And Google has said no to any of the things that any of his disputed calls. So my point being is, if you are going to use LDS, if you're a small filer, drive those calls to your cell phone, get as much as you can on that first call so you can dispute it. Because what Google's going to do is listen to that recording and either honor your dispute or not based on that. Okay, based on that, anyone using Google Local Service that can share some insight that for the good of the whole? Okay, no one's using. Okay, so basically, it's you know, you get approved by Google and then you populate that way, but it's an expensive, it's a clearly expensive lead, as long as it's a good lead. Okay, so let's move back. Okay, here we go. Okay, local search. Okay, local free. Okay, so the first thing is going back to the local free. This is here, right? How you populate accordingly to the local search results in your area based on maps. The reason why this is so important is because people are typing in their phone, bankruptcy attorney near me. Super important, okay? You know, we can run a report for you, but it's important that you update everything, Okay. I mean, I've talked about this on past calls, but it's very important any way you look at it. This is a report that I ran this week for a filer, and he does 30 to 40 filings a month. Okay. This is not a small time attorney by any means. Okay. And he had 12% correct, 8% incorrect, 80% missing, right? We can run these reports. Your staff, your office can update them for you. Piece of cake. Send me an email, reply to any email, say run a report, and we can do it. You need to be listed in order to be found, right? That's the first thing. Okay, next thing. Reviews, okay? Reviews are important. I mean, any way you look at it, you know they're important. Your staff knows they're important. The clients are looking for the reviews, okay? I have some attorneys that pay their staff, they spiff them if their name is mentioned in a review. Okay, so you say to your staff, hey, if you get a review posted and your name's mentioned in the review, you get a $25 spiff. That's the attorney I'm thinking of. But fill in the blank, whatever you want. You want to get these reviews. You want to get these updated. Another way is what we do with our newsletter, right, in our software. So the first thing is, and let me show this to you. Okay, so for those of you in our review sequence in our newsletter, this is a absolute no-brainer in my opinion. But this is something that how we build it, and over the past, we've generated thousands and thousands of reviews this way. Okay. We basically send a monthly newsletter. This is number 12, as you can see right here. This is number 12, 3 of 12 ideas, concepts, and ways for you to use your financial problem as a springboard to a better life. Feel free to forward this email to anyone that you would find useful, okay? So in the beginning of it, the concept of this newsletter, this isn't like, you're not sending out, recipes or like inspirational quotes, right? I mean, this is like, how to use your financial problems as a springboard success. The reason why we have financial problems there and not bankruptcy, because this attorney in particular does more than bankruptcy. So in the beginning, this is designed to generate a lead, okay? And I know because we use call rel tracking, it's blurred out right here, that people call that number and it forwards the attorney. I know that. At the very top, click here to give a review. It's a feel-good email, right? Takes the shame away from bankruptcy. You're not shameful of bankruptcy. I'm not shameful of bankruptcy. A lot of people are. We want to take that shame away from them, right? And at the bottom, click here to give a review, right? We've generated thousands of reviews this way. Also, during this sort of like review sequence, we go back to all past clients you've ever had and offer them in 720. If you've been in the program for 10 years, like Ken Neely, we go back and say, do you want an updated 2021 version? If they say yes to that, then we give them the new version of 7 steps to 720 and then ask them, would you give so-and-so a review? This works, it's super easy, and it works every time. I mean, it's so predictable and there's nothing you're doing to generate the review, okay? Another thing I wanna point out is the software. So this is our 720 site. I click on 5-star, it takes me to Google. 7 steps to 720 credit score, right? Cancel it. This is how we've generated 534 reviews this way. I mean, it's just easy. I've only been asking for reviews 2 years. I signed up first before I rolled it out to everyone else. And you can just go through and you can see, right? Now let's go back and assume someone clicks bad, right? It pops up, hey, we strive for 100% customer satisfaction. If we fell short, share us what your issues are, right? Now, this doesn't stop someone from clicking here and going to Google and giving a 1-star review. You can never stop that. But it does give them a point to vent. And we want these people to feel heard. Here you go, okay? The point is, and this is what I talked about in the last call around automation, you need to simplify the process. I talked to an attorney who, just before this call, I was talking to him about Google Local Services, where I was getting information. And he said, oh, Phil, the reason why I got so many reviews, because he had 48, I was commending him on it, is because, I manage it all. I text him and I call him and all this stuff. I'm like, great, that's fantastic. If you want that to be your job, or do you want to talk to bankruptcy leads? Because in a very short period of time, none of us are going to have time to do any of the nuances. No data entry, no review asking, no whatever. You need to automate as much as possible. Okay. Okay, let me go back to this. Okay, so that's the review. And we're rolling out, for those of you who do have our review program, we're rolling out a texting feature, or we're going to text people automatic without your touching it on the reviews. We're going to have widgets for your email signatures. And we're also going to direct messages, which are going to increase the number. We did a test. Actually, we did it with Eric Ronke, who was talking earlier. He came to me and said, our reviews are stagnant. And Eric, you probably remember this. You've seen recently, over the past couple months, that we've seen an increase in reviews because we've implemented those things. That was kudos to your idea. So thank you for that. Yeah. Okay, let me go back to here. Go back to sharing the screen. Okay. So let's just go through this. Local paid, we talked about it. Local free. You can have Google AdWords. If you need introductions for Google AdWords, we have great people we can introduce you to. Okay. Past clients, we talked about this, generating reviews through our the monthly emails. Long game, think long game, right? Old leads, my gosh, these are a gold mine. Let me show you this lead right here. This is a client. So this says, this arrow, taking stock in the past 2 years, okay? See this number at the bottom of every one of your emails, of those of you in our lead follow-up program, the number signifies how many days they've been in the sequence. This is 727 days old, right? 727 days old, and we've generated it, right? Or we just kept them nurtured. We stopped them from going back to Google. You think this guy would have remembered this attorney 2 years later if it wasn't for the drip? Of course not. Of course not. Okay, once again, taking stock, long game, play the long game. And then social media, simple things you can do on social media to update once a week, twice a week, just engage and things like that. Okay, brainstorming, questions, any thoughts? I welcome your feedback. I welcome your feedback.
So one question on the, and I don't know if you've touched on this before. When they click on the review thing and it pops up, in your software or your website, and they click on a 1 star and it gives them the choice to fill out the form, or a 5, it takes them to Google. Where's the break point? Is it always a 5 star? It only goes to Google, and 4 and less gives you the form, or
it depends on.
That?
So if you probably don't remember, but when you signed up, you chose, right? What we recommend to people is below 4 star, right? 3, 2, 1, right? Because I want my 4.9 star review. Like I want that. I don't want 5 stars because it screams to me fake bot, right? So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 4.8, 4.9 consistently.
Hey, Phil.
Yeah, tell me.
One of the thoughts that crossed my mind when it comes to reviews is, as attorneys generally, we're local, we're not national, so we're not looking at 10,000 reviews. We're looking more anywhere from 50 to 150. At least it's my feeling. And then, like you say, 5-star reviews shout fake. Mm-hmm. Would if somebody has 500 reviews and say, 4 or 5 or above, how do you feel about having so many reviews in a local market?
Oh.
And not only that, but like bankruptcy, right? How many people in your local market are doing bankruptcy, and you're getting 500 reviews?
Oh, I don't think you need them, by no means. I mean, I don't think you need 500. You just want to be dominant in your area, right? So when we type in bankruptcy attorney, hold on, let's do it in real time. Do you mind if we use you an example?
No, go ahead.
You're in
Boca Raton.
Boca Raton. Whenever you type in, just as like, you know, a way to learn here, you type in bankruptcy attorney Boca Raton, you got to go to more, or just go to settings, and you got to hide the private results. Okay, I've been to Eric's site before. I know him, that type of thing, right? Okay, so you see the screen at the top, right? And then here are the local, right? So the two at the very top where it says ad, obviously those are ads, right? So let me see, your Klein.
Yeah, nowhere.
Oh no, because you're not under bankruptcy, right? That's the problem.
Well, yeah, that's true. But we do, yeah.
Yeah, but this is a fantastic example, Eric, and I'm grateful. You're always vocal on these calls, right? I really appreciate that. And this is a great thing for everyone to understand here, right? So Klein Law,
EIN.
yeah, here we go, right here, Klein Law Group. No, it's not. KL.
That's New York, yeah. All right.
Klein Law Group, Florida, here we go. So, I mean, you have 46 reviews. I mean, you're slaying it. The thing is, we've had this conversation before, you know?
Yeah.
As a divorce attorney. So the thing is with Eric, divorce is more, you know, profitable, right? So, but that's the thing. I mean, look at that, 46, 4.9 stars review. That's fantastic. Let's look at this from a standpoint of divorce attorney, Boca Raton. Okay, so let me just go back actually here. It's more real. Okay, so there you, so you're at 46. So you're 46, you got a 6, you got a 7, you got a 15, 42. I mean, you're leading the marketplace, right? With reviews. So in terms of your question is what's the number to get? I mean, is that really what you were thinking? Like, where do you go, right?
Well, I guess I was just making a comment because what we do is so localized, except, you know, of course, for your multi-state clients. What a solo or a small firm like mine, we're local. So in our market, if we're local and we have 50, 60 reviews, I think that's pretty good versus somebody who's local like us who has 300 to 500 reviews. I think there's something fishy going on.
Well, I mean, so here's where I would go with it, Eric, and this is just my perspective, right? You have Schwartz and White at 39. Mm-hmm. You have 46, and then you have Weiss Lieberman, whoever he is, at 40. Yep. I would just get that to 80. I would just be a standout, right? Double their number. 80 is not overwhelming. It's not like 500, but it's a standout.
That's true.
But you're doing great. Are you kidding me, Eric? You're doing fantastic, which is, you know, why you have a profitable firm. So thank you.
And I'm not sure about anybody else on the call here. There's 3 attorneys in my firm, and one does divorce, one does bankruptcy, and so forth. We have one website. It's just hard to optimize for any one particular area.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know, I'm still trying to figure it out. And we want to go into defamation.
Yeah.
You know, online defamation, revenge porn, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, bankruptcy right now, as everybody knows, there's nothing going on.
Yeah. Well, fortunately for you, you can pivot, and then you could always pivot when bankruptcy comes back and move your local service, or not your local service, your Google to.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing about the firm. The way we do it is, my philosophy was to diversify, right? So when the economy's good, people are getting divorced because they have the money to do it. When the economy's bad, they're not. Mm-hmm. And they're getting, you know, they're filing bankruptcy or we're defending a foreclosure. So, you know, where one area may lack, the other one will pick up and carry the other. And that's what happened during the bust, mm-hmm. About however many years ago that was. Now divorce is pretty high.
Good deal. Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other thoughts, brainstorming? I have one last thing, one positive note to end on. Any other questions? Eric, you got a question?
Yeah, well, I just have a thought on the review thing. I agree with you. I think that it doesn't really matter if you have, I think I agree with Eric that if you had 300 to 500 reviews and everybody else in the area has 30, it looks a little fishy, but you do want to have the most, but I think more importantly, you want to have the most that have content. And so, I get so many of my clients that come in. Yes, I'm in South Dakota, so we actually have people that still come into our office today, unlike most places around the country. But even on the phone. But the clients that I talk to because I ask every single one of them, how'd you find me? And if it was a Google search or an online search or whatever, almost every time what they're telling me is I went online, I found you, and I read your reviews. It's not they looked at the number of stars you have or the number of reviews, but they're reading the content of what people are saying about you. So I think it's important to, you don't want to just get 400 people to click 5 stars and not write anything. You want people writing, some content. And the thing that blew my mind is that bankruptcy clients will actually go on there and leave you a review and tell people, hey, Eric helped me with my bankruptcy and he was amazing and blah, 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 blah. And I'm going, okay, I would have never expected a bankruptcy client to actually admit on Google to the world that they filed bankruptcy, but we've made them so comfortable with the fact that what they did is okay, and they're so happy with the results that they're willing to do that. So I think there's a lot of value in context of the reviews, in addition to making sure that you have a decent number, not a huge number, but a decent number. So, and then one other thing, just I'm not a marketing guru, but just a thought, Eric, as far as we've got a multi-practice firm. And there's plenty of marketing people that can speak to this, but maybe landing pages that you have for each separate entity of your firm, so that you can drive people to just your bankruptcy landing page, just your divorce landing page, and so on and so forth. But
Yeah,
I don't
we
know
have
as much
that.
about that. Okay, I was gonna say that might be an
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's a good idea. It's a great
So-
idea. It's just something we just did recently. So,
Well, then maybe I'm in the wrong field. Maybe I should go into marketing.
Hey, so one little side note, which is interesting, people are naturally, our clients, tend to care more about their clients just because they're willing to invest for them into, how to improve their life after bankruptcy. I mean, energetically, you get it. And, but we do have some attorneys that are just like, it's the mill, right? And we've run review campaigns, and, the energy and the caringness that someone brings to the table is picked up on the reviews. I mean, and I'm talking what you're talking about, Eric, the words, right? Like we can generate reviews for anybody. Yeah, I mean, stars, but the words and the content and that feedback is a big deal. So, okay, so that's on that. What else? Any other questions, thoughts, brainstorming you want to talk about? You want to share? Okay, so let me end the call. We took your feedback. I'm very grateful for your feedback, and we're rolling out the 720 System Strategies member community on Facebook. Thank you for all the feedback, especially you, Eric Ronke out of South Dakota. This is going to be a way for you to, just sort of like ask questions, come here, we'll have these recordings, and we'll see where it goes, right? So once again, I'm grateful for the feedback. I hope you can tell, I want the feedback. I mean, I am only as good. I mean, I clearly, I don't have a monopoly on ideas. All my ideas come from bankruptcy attorneys that say, I wish you'd handle this. And I'm like, okay, good, figure it out. So the more feedback you give me, the better it is. And then we can build accordingly. If you did like the Zoom compared to, our calls in the past, let me know. Simple email, text, whatever you want would be great. And here's to making 2021 the best years of our lives and our debtors. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.